Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I am Vikram. In this class, we'll try to understand the need of memory hierarchy in computer organization. This is the introductory class to our new section called memory organization. In our previous sections, we have covered about CPU organization, microprogrammed control unit and basic computer architecture. If you haven't watched those sections, please watch those sections and come back here, because every video in our channel is going to be a part of entire course or a playlist. Our suggestion is to follow the entire course so that you can have better understanding of the concepts, and the link for the playlist is provided in the description below. Now coming to this class, we will try to understand the need of memory hierarchy in any computer organization. If you take any computer organization, that computer organization is going to have an hierarchy of memory. Different memory components are used within the computer organization. You take any computer, within that memory we are going to have different components, different memory components available in that computer. So why we need to have those many number of different memory components? So that we will try to understand with the real-time scenario. For example, if you want to buy a computer, if we want to buy a computer in the market, what we are going to search for? What we are going to search for is, first we are going to get the details of the processor. So we want to construct the best possible computer in the market. So we want to construct a computer which is best computer that is available. So in order to get that computer, what kind of research that we will do? First we will search for processor. What is the best processor that is available in the market, and for our applications to run, which processor is the best one? So based upon that research, we are going to decide one of the processors that are available in the market. For example, if we have done our enough research on the processors, and we have decided for Intel processor. So we have decided for Intel processor, and the model is i9 processor, 10th generation. So this is the processor that we would like to have on our computer. And the next component that we are going to search for is RAM. What is the speed of the RAM? What kind of RAM that we have to install? So what is the size of the RAM that we should have? So it depends upon the applications that we are going to use. If you are using your computer for most of the for gaming purpose, so the RAM speed should be very high. The size of the RAM should be very high. With the larger size RAM, it is going to have higher speeds. So what is that RAM? And we have decided that our RAM should be 32 GB RAM. So we want to have a 32 GB RAM on our computer with an Intel i9 processor, 10th generation processor. And next what we are going to decide? We are going to decide for hard disk. So we would like to have a bigger hard disk so that maximum applications, so the data that we need to store onto the computer, so in order to have larger applications to get stored onto the hard disk, we would like to have the bigger size hard disk. Let's assume that it is a 2 TB hard disk. We have decided that our computer should have a 2 TB hard disk. So this is memory, and within the processor, if you closely observe the processors, try to search for processors with cache memory. So the processors, within the processors, we are going to have cache memory. So this Intel 9th generation, 9th i9 processor with 10th generation, it is going to have 20 MB cache memory. So there are lesser cache memories are also available. So you try to search for it. As the cache memory size increases, the cost of the processor will also increase. Within the processor, we are going to have a memory component called cache memory, and we have decided that the cache memory is of 20 MB. So 20 MB cache memory, we would like to have 32 GB RAM and 2 TB hard disk. So these are the components that we would like to have in our computer. So with that we have decided that I want to have this. So now my question is, though all these memory devices, so this is a memory device, this is a memory device, this is a memory device, every memory device job is to store the program, and the data corresponding to the program will get stored onto the memory. Though all these memory components are doing the same job, why we need to have these many different types of memories? So that is what we call it as memory hierarchy. Why we need to have them? For example, if I want to construct the computer with only hard disk, I don't want this RAM and cache memory, I just want to have my computer with this processor and this hard disk. What is the disadvantage that we are going to have? So to understand that point, we will try to understand what are the speeds of these components. For example, if you take the speed of the processor these days, this processor works at a speed of 5 gigahertz. It is going to work at a speed of 5 gigahertz. So what does that mean? Giga means 10 power 9, hertz means frequency. So it is going to generate 10 power 9 clock cycles per second. As we have understood in our basic computer, for every clock cycle, one micro operation will get executed. So we have clearly understood these concepts in our early classes. There we have said that per every clock cycle we are going to execute one micro operation. So in order to the clock speed of this i9 10th generation is 5 gigahertz. 5 point something is there. We have just taken it as 5 gigahertz, which means 5 into 10 power 9 clock cycles will get generated. In order to execute one instruction, what is the amount of time taken by this processor? Let's assume that it is 1 gigahertz, so that the math will be very easy. If it is 1 gigahertz processor, it is going to generate 10 power 9 clock cycles. And what is the amount of time taken to execute one instruction? Let's assume that it is 1 nanosecond. So to execute one instruction, it is taking 1 nanosecond. So this is the speed of the processor. 1 nanosecond is the time within which one instruction will get executed. That is the speed of this Intel processor, i9 processor 10th generation. And what is the speed of this cache memory? The cache memory, in order to fetch something from this memory, the cache memory is going to take 100 nanoseconds. So let's try to visualize the speed of the processor with respect to the memory. So in order to do some memory operation, the cache memory will work at a speed of, to fetch one value from the memory, it is going to take 100 nanoseconds. Let's see the difference. 1 nanosecond, one instruction will get executed, but to execute an instruction with memory reference, it is going to execute 100. It is going to take 100 nanoseconds. Similarly, if you take RAM works at a speed of, usually the difference between cache memory and the RAM main memory is going to be at a ratio of 1:7. If it works in 100 nanoseconds, it is going to take 700 nanoseconds. So in order to fetch a value from the main memory, it is going to take 700 nanoseconds. Similarly, if you take hard disk to do the same job, it is going to take 1000 times more number of nanoseconds, more number of cycles it is going to take. So let's assume that it is 7 into 10 power 5 nanoseconds. To get a value from hard disk, it is going to take these many number of nanoseconds to fetch one value from the memory. So with these differences in speed, with the speed of a computer with this 1 nanosecond per instruction, how can we compensate? So if you are using the hard disk, the only hard disk for the processor, so let's assume the speed that it is going to take, and it has been found that out of all different types of research, it has been found that there will be 30 memory reference. 30% of the instructions in a program will be memory reference instructions. So what does that mean is, for example, if we have 100 instructions in our program, if we have 100 instructions, out of those 100 instructions, 30 instructions will be memory reference instructions. 30 instructions will be memory reference instructions. Out of 100 instructions, every program is going to have on an average 30 memory reference instructions. In order to have one memory reference instruction, the hard disk is going to take these many number of nanoseconds, and the processor has to wait for the hard disk to fetch one value. To execute one memory reference instruction, the hard disk, the processor has to wait for 7 into 10 power 5 nanoseconds for the hard disk to fetch the data. Similarly, if you have only RAM on our computer, if the memory that we are going to use on our computer is only main memory or random access memory, then it will not happen in that way. Let's assume, okay, if we assume that we have only RAM on our computer, it is going to take 700 nanoseconds. So the processor, to execute one memory reference instruction, it has to wait for 7 nanoseconds. And for example, if you try to find the cache memory is 100 nanoseconds. So what if our computer is having completely cache memory? What if the computer is going to have completely cache memory? So what is the disadvantage that we are going to get is to have 20 MB cache memory. To have 20 MB cache memory, we should invest nearly 20k rupees. In rupees, it is going to cost 20,000 rupees. To have 32 GB RAM, it costs around 13 to 15k rupees. And similarly, if you want to have 2 TB hard disk, it is going to cost around 8k. So to have a cache memory of 20 MB, it is going to cost 20,000 rupees, and to have a RAM of 32 GB, it is going to cost around 13 to 15,000 rupees. And to have 1 TB hard disk, see the difference, 1 TB 13 GB and 2 TB 32 GB and 20 MB of cache memory. So there is a huge difference. To 2 TB of hard disk is going to cost around 8k. Okay, for example, if you have thousands of applications stored on our computer, is it possible to store those applications on cache memory? No, it is not possible. Is it possible to store those applications on RAM? No, with 32 GB of RAM, it is not possible to store those applications on our computer. Okay, and with the 2 TB hard disk, yes, it is possible. So to have the maximum storage, and to have the minimum cost, and to have the maximum speed, and to have the minimum cost, we need to have an hierarchy of memory. So with the use of all these three components, with the use of hard disk, with the use of RAM, with the use of cache memory, in order to have maximum speed and less cost, these components are to be organized. So think of this point. To have the maximum speed and to have the minimum cost, for example, if you try to use only cache memory on our computer, it is going to cost thousands and thousands of rupees. Whereas if you try to have only hard disk on our computer, it is going to cost, with respect to the speeds, to execute one instruction, it is going to take lots of amounts of time. So what we are going to do is, we are going to have hard disk, main memory and also cache memory, and the organization between these memory components has to be done in such a way so that we can attain maximum speed with minimum cost. So that is what we call it as a memory organization. How these memory components will get organized and how the speed will how to attain the maximum speed with these components. So that understanding we will try to understand, we will try to have in this complete section. So let's try to understand the block diagram of the memory organization. So this is the block diagram. So the CPU is going to have direct contact with main memory and cache memory, and the hard disk, magnetic disk with the IO processor is going to transfer the data from hard disk to the main memory, and from the main memory the content will get transferred onto the cache memory. CPU is going to request. So how this organization is done is, the CPU, whenever it needs some memory reference, whenever it has some instructions with memory reference, it is going to first ask for cache memory, whether the data is available in the cache memory or not. If it is not available, we are going to search in the main memory. If the data is not even available in the main memory, we have to go for the hard disk, where the complete program will get stored. So for example, if you have 100 instructions in our program, part of the program will get stored in the main memory, and part of that main memory content will get stored in the cache memory. Cache memory consists of those instructions which are very frequently used. So if some of the instructions are very frequently used, that part of the main memory program will get stored onto the cache memory, because it is very speed to access. So this cache memory is very speed in accessing the content. So the part of the program which is very heavily used regularly by the program, that will get stored onto the cache memory, and part of the complete program will get transferred onto the main memory. Whenever there is a need of other part of the program, then we are going to fetch the data from the main memory, from the magnetic disk, which is hard disk. Through the IO processors, the content will get transferred between these components. So this is how the computer organization will be, and we will try to, in our later coming classes, we will try to have clear understanding of how these memories will get organized, how the components will get organized, so that we can get maximum speed and minimum cost. With the minimum cost, how can we get the maximum speed? That we will try to understand, and how these memory components are organized, so that the work will be done very efficiently, the processing, so that we can reach the processor speed. Okay, so this is how the memory hierarchy will be. The components of the memory will get arranged in the computer. Hope you got the clarity on this concept. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. And if you have any doubts regarding this concept, please post your doubt in the comment section below. And if you feel that this video is helpful to you, please give us a like symbol, and please share this video with your friends so that they will also get benefited. Thanks for watching.